If you don't post on social media, there's a reason, and it's not what people think. Most people assume it means you're shy, or that you have nothing going on. But the truth is, it usually runs deeper than that. Because staying quiet online isn't just a habit. For a lot of people, it's a pattern that started long before social media even existed. You might have been the one who stayed in the background growing up, the one who observed more than they spoke, the one who learned very early that being seen could come with judgment, pressure, or even rejection. So instead of stepping forward, you adapted. You became more private, more careful, more selective. And over time, that turned into something natural. Now, while everyone else shares their lives openly, you hold yours close. Not because your life is empty, but because it feels personal. You don't just experience things, you process them. You notice tone shifts, small reactions, the things people don't say out loud. You think before you speak. You replay conversations. You understand people in ways they don't always realize. While others express outwardly, you go inward, and that creates depth, but it also creates distance. At work, you might be doing everything right, but you're not the one announcing it. You focus on doing things well, not being seen doing them, and sometimes that means being overlooked. Not because you lack ability, but because you don't chase attention. In friendships, you're usually the listener. You remember details. You notice shifts. You show up in quiet ways. But when conversations revolve around posts, updates, and things you never shared, it can feel like you're slightly outside of it all. And in relationships, you don't open up instantly. You take your time. You value trust over attention, depth over display. You don't need the world to see what you have, you just need it to be real. But not everyone understands that. And then there's social media, where it feels like everyone is constantly showing, sharing, proving. And even if you don't want to participate, a small part of you might still wonder, am I missing out? Am I falling behind just by staying quiet? But here's what most people get wrong. Not posting isn't a weakness. It's not a lack of confidence. It's not a lack of experiences. If anything, it often means the opposite. It means you don't need constant validation. It means you value privacy. It means you experience things fully without needing to turn them into content. But there is a trade-off, because people can only respond to what they see. And if you rarely show anything, it can look like there's nothing there. That's where the disconnect happens. Not because you're invisible, but because you're unseen. So the answer isn't to suddenly share everything. It's not about becoming louder or more performative. It's about choice, choosing when to be private and when to let people in, even in small ways. Because your depth, that's your strength. Your awareness, your ability to observe, reflect, and understand things on a deeper level. That's rare. In a world that constantly performs, you actually experience. So if you're someone who doesn't post on social media, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not behind. You're not missing a life. You're just living it differently. And maybe the truth is this. Not posting doesn't make you invisible. It just means you're selective. And in a world where everyone shares everything, that kind of restraint is powerful.